were staying in Paris to get away from your parents. And I thought, wow, if I could take this in a shot right now, I don't think that we could work this out on the terrace. I don't know if it's fair, but I thought, how could I let you fall by yourself? Well, I'm wasted with someone else. If we go down, then we go down together. They'll say you could do anything, they'll say that I was clever. If we go down, then we go down together. We'll get away with everything that shows them we are better.
Right off the rip, we're like, okay, we want to be making DJ edits. We should probably use a song that, you know, would be in a DJ edit. So, easy choice. Chainsmokers, you know, everyone knows them. Good music. Definitely something you can edit to. We had seen other people edit to them too. So, we chose a remix to their song. We wanted to make it a little spicy, you know, couldn't go with just the original. And after the song, we knew that the most important thing was the opening scene, because it's kind of like a first impression.
So we wanted to start the video off with a really unique kind of wide shot. Like, we're kind of behind another building. So you want to use the most intriguing shots, but then also the order of the shots is important and what angle those are at. It's pretty good in the first 3 shots if you have a wide shot, a medium shot, and a close shot of kind of the same area or subject, so that it just gives the viewer a feel of where we are.
And building the story and building who you're going to introduce in there, because obviously me and Warren are going to be in the video, but keep the continuation of having the Washington Monument in it. And also a big thing, more engaging videos, you're taking unique angles. When you're starting out, shoot as much as you can. Don't shoot the same stuff as much as you can, but be like, you know, I'm just gonna lay down right here and look up and see what this is. Or I'm gonna go across the road over here. It might look terrible, or it might be like, you might put it in your computer and be like, whoa, that's super unique and I kinda like the composition. I never would have done that before.
That we both together love to just overshoot in that sense. We're so comfortable with each other that we know to do something quote unquote dumb.
No, look good. Definitely on the phone. I didn't really pay attention to GoPro.
But then we'll be in post together and be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You can move
great.
it like this and you can put it like this. Okay, wait, that actually worked. Alright, so something to talk about is transitions. We'll probably have to have another video completely on this because it's literally the most debated thing. But just in general, all for this video, we knew like we needed to have some type of flair and some transition to like impress someone. But you should always be wary that you don't want to overuse them if like telling the story comes first.
It needs to be in there to show that you know how to use them, but not that's all you know how to do. So we try to carefully choose different transitions that would engage but continue the story.
Next thing here is that at 7 seconds we have a transition here called Luma Fade. Ryan's walking, I'm walking, like we're transitioning 2 scenes that work. But the second clip, we saw that there was a very unique light placement. So with Luma, it uses the lights and it uses the different black and white colors there. I'm not gonna go fully into that.
Then after these shots, you get to quite literally one of the worst dance renditions I've ever seen. And the reason we did this is because we're like, we need to replicate the hype that a DJ would have.
The way this happened too, just to give a little more insight on how we shoot, we typically have music playing on our iPhone to keep us motivated while we're shooting. If you watch a lot of our raw clips, we'll just have music in the background.
That's a great point, because it keeps you in the mind of the edit. That way you're not just walking around dead silence. So essentially the next thing, after knowing we needed a good song, knowing we needed to wow them off the first couple seconds, and knowing we wanted to use transitions, was we're just normal people. How else are we gonna impress them? So we're like, props. So our bright idea, going into Walmart at 10 p.m. was to use a scooter. It's actually funny though, because we're like, we had no clue, but we literally just like went straight to the toy section and we saw this and it was like, lights up wheels and has a spark kit on the back of it. Oh! And we're like, you know what? This is gonna have to work because we have nothing else, and this is probably our cheapest option of something that's cool.
And we knew we were shooting this at night, so the sparks were gonna come in handy, and the lighted wheels.
Exactly. Then right after that, it goes right into a quick swipe transition. Nothing crazy, but like I said, just transitions that go with the flow. We're going right to left, or
left to right.
Left to right. We're going left to right. So on the scooter, so we might as well do the same thing into the next shot. So we just added a little speed And then this next shot of just Warren walking, put the camera as low as I could and said, I'm just gonna run up to him and then bring it up and see what it looks like. Gives you something different and continues the story.
After the middle portion of your setup shots and telling the story, it leads up to this very important moment, which is like 5 seconds before the drop. The way to do that is to think about what you're gonna put on the drop, and that's gonna be your most hype moment, probably an action scene, depends what type of video you're doing, but something that's just like the most climactic shot that we have. So Ryan being the stuntman of this video, I felt like the best shot was him sliding down the
Washington Monument stairs. They have a little part to the right of it. Wouldn't recommend this if it's not 4 a.m. because possibly defaming the monument, but I was young and ignorant at the time, so let's just do that. I just slid, you know, so
yeah,
nothing crazy.
For the whip pan was also another effect that was hot at the time, so we knew that we were going to do some type of movement and transition that into the drop. Shot at 481 is crazy because we actually set up a tripod. This is just a unique shot looking at it right off the bat because half the screen is this waterfall and behind you have the Lincoln Monument that we knew we were going to go into. I actually think this was Ryan's idea to do like 3 zoom transitions going into the Lincoln Memorial. The only thing I'll say about this shot, looking at it 3 years later now, is the exposure, exactly. You always want to expose for the subject no matter what. If there's people in it, the people cannot be overexposed. We are just like these bright blimps on here.
And this is another thing we talk about transitions, about only using them when required. Yeah, that time the zoom transition was the biggest thing ever. Like people will be zoom transitioning from eating breakfast to like brushing their teeth. Like that's how, yeah, the beach. Like crazy things, like unrealistic. Like we don't need that. But this one, you can clearly see the Lincoln Memorial in the back of that first shot. So we're like, yeah, this would be a good time to use it. And then, so this is a technique you guys probably know, which is a hyperlapse. If you don't know, just look it up. There's plenty of tutorials, but basically just taking multiple pictures and connecting them to create movement of a static object. And this is where Warren's genius comes in, because I just took the pictures just like, oh, let me see what I can do. I'll do the hyperlapse. Warren did the idea of, yeah, you're coming diagonal, and also add even more of effect to that by tilting it so it just feels something unique.
This was the one scene that the original interviewer really loved, and like he kept looking at it like, whoa, it's turning there, like,
yeah.
So something like that could just impress somebody.
This was a known effect, but you just add your own little spice on different things. Like, yeah, it's not the wildest thing, we just turned it, but it looks different compared to ones we've seen before, and it impresses people. They're like, whoa, yeah, I've seen that before, but this kid did it in a different way. What else can they do? What other spice can they put on other things?
So the final point of this video here, you kind of want to bring something back at the end that just closes it up, wraps it up. Everything is so serious the entire video, and then it just goes to this funny scene of Ryan falling off the scooter, which was a natural scene, and it just gives you that feel like, oh, it just gives you that happy feeling at the end, like, oh, they're just humans, they just went out and had a good time together. There's humility in a shot like that. I think some people are worried about looking a certain way in videos. Like, sometimes it's cool to embarrass yourself. But yeah, so that's the video there. I guess we'll make a part 2 here to show the Paul Van Dyke actual recap that we ended up making next week when we got the job. But I think this covers enough for one video.